It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon in the small town of Fairview, Ohio. Nothing about the day suggested that a brutal crime was about to be set in motion, or that a single wrong digit would unravel it all. Jessica Palmer, a 32-year-old single mother of two, had just put her phone on silent during a parent-teacher conference. She wouldn't check it again until later that evening, and when she did, her heart nearly stopped. "Hey, it's done. The package has been delivered. Let me know when you get the payment ready." That was the first message, followed by, "No one suspects a thing. Smooth job." Jessica thought it had to be a mistake. A spam text, maybe, but the number looked local. Something about it felt chillingly real. She texted back, "I think you have the wrong number." The reply came almost instantly. "Wait, who is this?" She didn't respond. Instead, Jessica showed the message to her sister, who immediately urged her to call the police. Jessica was hesitant. What if it was just some sick prank? But something inside her kept nagging. What if it wasn't? Detective Mark Evans had seen his fair share of strange cases in his 18 years on the force. But when Jessica Palmer walked into the precinct holding her phone out like it was radioactive, he had no idea the storm that was about to hit. Jessica explained everything: the text, the timing, the eeriness. She handed over her phone and let Evans take screenshots. At first, he was skeptical. It could have been a joke, a scam, even some kind of spam bot gone rogue. But the messages felt too real, too direct. Then came the clincher. Jessica received another text that night. "You didn't send the money. We had a deal. Don't make me come find you." That changed everything. Evans pinged the number and got a burner phone registered just a week earlier in a neighboring country. He sent a trace request to the telecom provider but knew it would take time. In the meantime, he advised Jessica to stay somewhere safe and put a patrol car outside her house. Something was definitely off. This wasn't just a prank. It felt like a hitman had actually completed a job and had texted the wrong person. As detectives began investigating, they tried to identify any recent murders or disappearances that could match the timeline. 2 days prior, a local man named Robert Haynes, a real estate developer with several enemies, was found dead in his office. Blunt force trauma to the head. No signs of robbery. No witnesses. Evans couldn't ignore the coincidence. The timing was too perfect. He requested the autopsy report and cross-referenced phone records around Haynes' office at the estimated time of death. One number stood out, the same burner that had texted Jessica. Evans brought in Haynes' ex-wife, current business partner, and a few disgruntled employees for questioning. None of them admitted to anything suspicious, but the ex-wife, Monica, had recently moved a large amount of cash out of her joint account with Haynes. A motive was beginning to form, and Jessica Palmer, by accident, was sitting on the most important piece of evidence, a hitman's digital footprint. The next day, Jessica received another message. "Don't ignore me. I'll take care of you next." This time, Evans didn't hesitate. He moved Jessica and her kids into a safe house. Her phone was cloned, allowing the police to monitor all incoming texts. Media got wind of a mysterious domestic terror threat and began swirling rumors. Jessica's name hadn't been leaked yet, but Evans knew it was only a matter of time. Behind the scenes, the task force was now working on identifying who hired the killer. Surveillance footage near Monica Haynes' condo showed her meeting with a man in a hoodie at 2 a.m., the night of the murder. Still, there was no face, no license plate, but the body language told a story: tension, a quick exchange of something small, perhaps a phone, maybe a flash drive, and then a hasty departure. Evans ordered surveillance on Monica, convinced she was the key to this entire mess. 3 days later, Evans got the break he needed. The telecom company confirmed the burner's location on the night of the murder, within 200 feet of Haynes' office. That same burner phone had also pinged off a tower near Monica's residence a few hours earlier. Jessica received one last message before the number went dark. "You brought this on yourself." They traced the burner's purchase to a gas station. Surveillance footage showed a tall man in his 40s, sunglasses, baseball cap, classic attempt at blending in. He paid in cash. Facial recognition matched him to a known name, Dean Rourke. Ex-military. Suspected in multiple unsolved crimes but never charged. The kind of man who knew how to disappear. And now he had made a fatal mistake, texting the wrong number. Evans put out a bolo, be on the lookout, for Rourke. Every known alias, vehicle, and contact was flagged. FBI got involved. Jessica's story was now being treated as federal. Meanwhile, Monica Haynes was brought in for further questioning. She denied knowing anyone named Dean Rourke, but her bank records told a different story. 2 wire transfers to a shell company tied to an account Rourke had accessed in the past. Under pressure, Monica began to crack. I just wanted him to stop. Robert ruined my life. He took everything in the divorce. I didn't know he'd actually kill him. I thought it was just a scare tactic. Too late. The hitman had delivered. But the real twist, Monica never had Rourke's direct contact. She had been introduced to him through someone else. Enter Lance Brody, Monica's former college friend turned shady financier. A man with a knack for disappearing paper trails and laundering money. He had introduced Monica to someone who could help. Lance was now off the grid. Evans launched a separate team to track him. Jessica's cloned phone was quiet, but the threat still loomed large. Rourke had vanished. No digital trace, no sightings. Then came the call. A woman from rural Kentucky claimed to have seen a man matching Rourke's description staying at a nearby motel. Evans dispatched local authorities to the scene. The motel room had been recently vacated, almost too recently. Cigarettes still burning in the ashtray. They were always one step behind. With no texts coming in, Evans made a bold move. He had Jessica send a fake message to the number, just in case it was still active. I have the rest of your money. Let's meet. An hour later, the message was marked red. Evans' team set up a sting operation in a public location, parking lot of a gas station off I-75. Unmarked cars. SWAT in position. Jessica, with a wire, sat in the parked car, palms sweating. A figure approached. Not Rourke, but a young man, early 20s, holding a prepaid phone. They pounced. Under interrogation, the man cracked. He was paid $500 to show up and collect a package. No name given. He was recruited off the dark web. They were dealing with a professional network. Not just one killer. Digital forensics traced the burner network to a darknet motor-for-hire site called the Clean Ledger. It offered encrypted communications, cryptocurrency payments, and customer anonymity. Rourke was a top-rated contractor. Jessica's number had only been a digit away from Monica's burner number. One typo had derailed an entire operation and possibly saved lives. FBI's cyber division began dismantling the site. Arrests were made in multiple states. But Rourke was still missing. Jessica and her kids were granted new identities. It was the only way to protect them. Still, she couldn't sleep. Not with the lingering thought, what if he finds me? 2 months later, a body was found in the woods of West Virginia. Burned beyond recognition, wallet missing. Dental records inconclusive. But a bullet casing nearby matched the one used in Haynes' murder. Could it be Rourke? Evans wasn't convinced. The scene felt staged. Too clean. Like a professional had covered their own tracks, or faked their own death. Jessica tried to move on. New town. New name. But one night, a letter arrived at her mailbox. No return address. No message inside. Just a single Polaroid, Jessica and her kids, taken from a distance. He was still out there. Jessica stared at the Polaroid, her breath caught in her throat. The image was grainy but unmistakable. Her and her kids outside their new apartment, a place no one should have known. It wasn't just a threat. It was proof that someone was watching. She called Detective Evans immediately. He was stunned. How the hell did he find you? Evans had coordinated the relocation. New name. New address. The file was sealed, even from most people on the force. Only a select group knew, which meant someone inside was leaking information. Jessica was moved again, this time under federal witness protection. But her sense of safety was shattered. She didn't sleep for days. And Evans? He started looking at his own team. Evans requested internal reviews. It didn't take long to uncover anomalies. Detective Caleb Price, a trusted colleague, had made unauthorized logins into Jessica's relocation file. When confronted, he claimed it was a mistake. Evans didn't buy it. They placed a tracker on Price's car and tapped his burner. Within 48 hours, Price made a call that would confirm the worst. I gave her location. That's all. I didn't sign up for killing anyone. Evans got the warrant. SWAT raided Price's apartment and uncovered encrypted USB drives, unmarked cash, and a burner phone linked to contacts on the dark web. Price wasn't just a dirty cop. He was part of the network. Price confessed, but only partially. He admitted to leaking Jessica's location for $10,000, but refused to name his contact. It was anonymous. All online. Federal agents seized Price's devices. The forensic team cracked one, revealing chat logs with someone using the handle Scalpel. The same alias traced to hits across 3 states. Scalpel wasn't just a name. It was a signature. Clean, surgical, efficient. Jessica's case was now tied to a larger criminal enterprise, one operating like a black market Uber for assassins. Rourke, it seemed, was just one blade in the toolkit. Digging deeper into the clean ledger, investigators uncovered a chilling structure: handlers, recruiters, tech specialists, launderers, and executioners. Rourke was a top-tier hitter, but Scalpel was believed to be one of the organization's architects. They traced the last active IP to a location in Baltimore. A raid was conducted. They found a young woman, Elena Vose, 27, sitting in front of 6 monitors, managing job requests like customer service. She didn't resist. She smiled. "You'll never find him. You're playing checkers. He's playing chess." But Vose didn't know about Jessica's Polaroid. And she didn't know the FBI had found a new lead. Jessica's third safe house was a remote cabin in Montana. Secluded. Hidden. One night, a motion sensor tripped behind the house. No animals in sight. The agent on duty investigated and found a camera. It wasn't theirs. The footage was traced back to a van parked 2 miles away. Inside, more Polaroids. Of Jessica. Of the agents. Of the kids' school. Jessica was pulled again. This time, she refused. "I can't live like this. I want to fight back." Evans agreed. It was time to turn the hunted into the bait. A plan was set. Jessica would post a message on a carefully staged social media account, using code from the original messages. Payments ready. Same drop point. The goal: draw Rourke, or someone from the organization, into the open. Federal agents set up surveillance around the area. A backpack was placed in the drop zone. Inside, a tracker and a silent alarm. Hours passed. Then, a figure approached. They grabbed the bag. The agents waited until they moved a block away, then descended. It wasn't Rourke. It was a teenage girl. Scared. Crying. They said if I didn't do this, they'd kill my mom. They were using innocent pawns now. Interrogation revealed more disturbing details. The girl had been recruited via a fake scholarship site. Promised cash for simple tasks. Threats followed. Inside her phone was a text: "Deliver or disappear." Scalpel again. They'd found a new method of manipulation, exploiting the vulnerable. Evans now realized this wasn't just a hitman network. It was a machine, industrialized murder. Jessica was the first thread unraveling it all. And Scalpel knew it. Jessica received a voicemail from a blocked number. The voice was disguised. Robotic. "Little rabbit, stop running. Wolves get bored. And when they get bored, they bite." Chilling. Taunting. Personal. Evans had it analyzed. The software used to distort the voice had a glitch pattern, a tiny error that allowed them to partially reconstruct the original waveform. It wasn't Rourke. It was a woman. Facial recognition of Elena Vose revealed a connection. She once shared a university class with a tech prodigy named Lydia Crane. Crane had disappeared in 2017 after being investigated for cybercrimes. Her family believed she was dead. Now, she might be Scalpel. Evans obtained a warrant and searched Crane's last known hideout. Inside, half-destroyed hard drives, books on criminal psychology, and a single note. "Jessica Palmer lives because I allow it." No fingerprints. But lipstick on the paper matched Vose. They were connected. Jessica wasn't the only one in danger anymore. Evans received an anonymous email with a list of names. All people who had helped investigate the case. At the top, Jessica. Below her, Evans. Then the tech team. The witnesses. The teen girl. All marked. All targets. They'd poked the hive. Now the swarm was coming. The email shook the task force to its core. There, in black and white, were names and addresses of everyone connected to Jessica's case. The list was titled, "Final Sweep." Jessica. Evans. Cyber team members. Witnesses. Even the teen girl they had rescued. All marked. All tagged with dates. Someone had created a schedule, like project management for murder. Evans escalated the alert level. Round-the-clock protection was assigned to every person on the list. Homes were swept for bugs. Safe houses were doubled up. But it wouldn't be enough. Scalpel was orchestrating something much bigger. Just 48 hours after the email, the first attack occurred. Agent Darren Shaw, part of the cyber forensics team, was found dead in his apartment. No sign of forced entry. No wounds. Toxicology later revealed a rare nerve agent, nearly untraceable. Next to him, a card. Clean, white, with one word embossed in red. Severed. Scalpel's signature. The message was clear. The protection net was penetrable. The next target was less fortunate. Rachel Lynn, a tech analyst, was attacked in her car. Someone had rigged the brake line. But by sheer luck, hitting a pothole at just the right moment, she survived with minor injuries. When she regained consciousness in the hospital, she whispered to Evans. I saw her. Blonde. Sunglasses. She smiled at me right before it happened. Evans had the description sketched. It resembled Lydia Crane. Scalpel was no longer hiding behind code. She was hunting in person. The FBI held a high-level meeting. The case was now considered national priority. Evans suggested something radical. Use himself as bait. He would go off-grid, drop protection, and draw Scalpel out. Jessica, reluctantly, agreed to help coordinate. Her cloned phone would be the bait. A trap was set in Philadelphia. Evans stayed in a rented flat, monitored by drones and unmarked surveillance vans. He received a text at 2:43 a.m. You blinked. The power cut out. A scream came from the stairwell. Evans raced down the hallway, gun drawn. A woman in black had already disabled one of the agents. She turned. Blonde. Sunglasses. Same smirk Rachel had described. She pulled a knife, but before she could lunge, a taser dropped her. It wasn't Lydia Crane. It was someone else. Another operator. Fingerprints came back as Melina Arsa, a known associate of Rourke. She'd undergone surgery. Changed her face. Scalpel was creating duplicates, replicas. Confusing the trail. Melina's phone held coordinates. A remote site in upstate New York. Evans and the team raided it the next day. They found what looked like a surgical lab mixed with a tech startup, facial molds, voice changes, encrypted drives, and a roster of names with red tags. Each marked either active or silenced. One screen was still on, displaying a live stream. Jessica's new house. They pulled the plug and raced to her location. Jessica had just put her kids to bed when she heard a soft knock. Too soft. She grabbed her emergency phone and dialed Evans. No answer. The knock came again, slightly louder. She crept to the peephole. No one there. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. You look better in person. She ran to the back room, grabbed the panic alarm. And then, a crash. Evans and his team arrived minutes later. The back window was shattered. The kids were hiding in the closet, terrified. Jessica was gone. Security footage showed a woman in a wig and lab coat entering the house minutes before. How she bypassed alarms. Still unclear. On Jessica's bed was another card. Now we dance. The hunt shifted from defense to rescue. Jessica awoke in a room painted blood red. No windows. One overhead light. Across from her, a screen flickered on. Lydia Crane. You ruined everything. But I admire you. Most people fold. You didn't. Jessica tried to speak, but her voice was hoarse. I could have killed you many times. But I didn't. Why? Because you're interesting. Then the screen went black. A countdown appeared. 72:00. The clock was ticking. Evans received an email. 72 hours. Trade me the files you seized from New York. Or she dies. Attached was a live feed. Jessica, tied to a chair, breathing heavily. No wounds. Yet, Evans was torn. Giving up the files meant exposing dozens of other victims still in danger. But not giving them up meant losing Jessica. He had 72 hours. Jessica and Evans relocate to an off-grid cabin owned by a former FBI profiler who owes Evans a favor. The profiler, Dana Kessler, is sharp, paranoid, and always 2 steps ahead. She agrees to help decode the hitman's texts and tracks down hidden meaning in the killer's coded messages. Dana's past reveals that she once worked on a case involving Scalpel, years ago. She believed him to be dead. But his resurfacing now suggests a darker game. Scalpel fakes his death every few years to reset the board. Jessica realizes that the hitman wasn't just after one target. He's part of a ritualistic cycle, hunting for a very specific type of victim. Meanwhile, in the city, someone is watching Jessica's apartment from across the street. A man with a long-range lens and an encrypted laptop. It's Scalpel. He knows she's gone, but he's in no rush. He enjoys the wait. Dana lays out a disturbing theory. She believes Scalpel is more than a contract killer. He's a collector. Every few years, he takes on a few high-profile hits for money, but one is always personal. A symbolic kill that follows an old signature, red thread, glass eyes, and handwritten poetry. Jessica finds herself unable to sleep. Her nightmares have names now. Each victim, Dana, recalls matches a cold case with bizarre elements. Evans dives back into police databases while Dana pores through old FBI archives. Their only chance to stop Scalpel lies in the patterns he can't resist repeating. But then a message arrives on Evans' burner phone, a photo of Dana's old partner, blooded, bound, and blindfolded. The message: "You were always the smartest in the room. Let's see how smart you are now." Dana is shaken. Her former partner, Alex Chen, was last seen 10 years ago. Presumed dead. Now he's alive and bait. Scalpel has upped the stakes. He wants Dana to play. Jessica suggests using herself as bait. Evans protests, but Dana surprisingly agrees. "He's already after you. Let's turn it to our advantage." They set a trap, fake a public reappearance of Jessica using a livestream event, and trace whoever tries to intercept her. Meanwhile, Scalpel, cloaked in an old surgeon's uniform in a hidden lab, is carefully crafting his next tableau. A new target lies on the table. Not dead, yet. The live stream is staged from a Dico hotel suite. Jessica appears on camera, nervously addressing the public about internet safety, using the wrong number incident as a cautionary tale. Hidden agents monitor the broadcast from all angles. Within minutes, someone attempts to breach the hotel's security network. Dana traces it to a signal bouncing between foreign proxies, but the origin pings from just 3 miles away. Evans races to the location, a decrepit veterinary clinic. Inside, cages, surgical tables, blood, and chilling diagrams. But Scalpel is gone. Only one thing left behind, a note: "Wrong number." "Right, girl." Dana vanishes. She left the safe house for a quick call. Hours pass. Evans and Jessica track her phone to a warehouse near the docks. They arrive too late. Inside, they find a chair, restraints, a surgical toolkit, and a trail of blood leading to a trapdoor. Below, a submerged chamber, part of a shipyard drain. The water reeks of chemicals. Jessica finds Dana's necklace tangled in the pipe. But no body. A phone buzzes nearby. A video plays, Dana alive, barely, whispering, "He knows about you. He knew from the start." Jessica demands answers. Evans reveals he once encountered Scalpel during a failed undercover op. He thought Scalpel was just a legend, a hitman who cleans up dirty agency secrets. Scalpel sends Jessica a package, her childhood diary. Pages are missing, others defaced with coded messages. Evans realizes the killer has had eyes on her for years. They contact Dana's sister, who decrypts one of the codes. It references an old psychiatric facility Jessica once visited as a child after witnessing a traumatic event she no longer remembers. Jessica visits the abandoned asylum. Room 12 triggers flashes of memory. A masked man, red thread, a woman screams. A doctor named Harrow who vanished in 1998. She uncovers patient files. One of them, filed under Subject A13, includes disturbing drawings matching Scalpel's rituals. Fingerprints on the file match Harrow and Scalpel. Was Harrow Scalpel all along? Jessica finds an old journal hidden in a wall. Harrow had a theory about creating perfect obedience through trauma. Each subject was a test. Jessica was one of them. The journal outlines Harrow's descent into madness. Fired for unethical experiments, he disappeared, assumed dead. But he reinvented himself, perfected control, torture, obedience. Evans tracks a financial trail from old asylum donors to offshore accounts. Someone funded Harrow's transformation into Scalpel. Jessica confronts a hard truth. Her entire life may have been manipulated, from her childhood trauma to the wrong number. None of it was random. Dana is found, barely alive, dumped near a hospital. Her mouth sewn shut, her hands broken. But she survives. She writes one word: director. Jessica and Evans realize Scalpel isn't acting alone. Someone higher is pulling the strings, a government contractor named Lennox, now running a privatized security firm tied to covert psychological warfare projects. They plan to expose him. But Lennox is powerful, protected, and knows they are coming. Jessica records a video confession, detailing everything, from the wrong text to the asylum files. The video goes viral. Lennox's company stock drops overnight. Whistleblowers begin contacting journalists. But that night, the safe house is breached. Evans is shot. Jessica escapes through the woods, dragging Evans with her. She makes one final call, to the only person she has left. Scalpel answers, "You're finally ready to understand." Jessica and Evans go underground, working with a federal cybercrime unit. Plans are set to infiltrate the server farm hosting Scalpel's communication hub. Every move has to be exact. One wrong step could expose their entire operation. Scalpel intercepts chatter about a breach. Enraged, he places a kill order on Evans. Jessica becomes bait unknowingly. Surveillance footage shows unfamiliar agents following her, Scalpel's new recruits. The federal team launches their raid. Masked and armed, they storm the underground data facility. Inside, they discover footage, dossiers, and contracts tied to dozens of unsolved murders. Scalpel's real name, Marcus Trent, is finally revealed. But someone leaks the operation. Marcus disappears minutes before arrest. Jessica finds a burner phone with a message. "You trusted the wrong one." Panic sets in. Someone close has betrayed her. Evans is ambushed on his way home. He survives but is hospitalized. Jessica is forced into federal protection. But she refuses to hide. She wants justice, no matter the cost. Using herself as bait, Jessica lures Marcus to an abandoned estate where it all began. The FBI rigs the area. Cameras are hidden. Evans, out of recovery, insists on being there. Marcus arrives. Calm, confident, deadly. He exposes the higher players involved. A corporate assassination network stretching across borders. Jessica stalls, buying time. The FBI waits for the green light. Marcus triggers a dead man's switch. If he dies, files will be released implicating powerful officials. Jessica must convince him to stop. Her psychological game begins, using his own ego against him. Marcus is captured, but not before uploading damaging files to federal servers. The FBI launches dozens of raids. Arrests across 5 states follow. Jessica is offered federal protection and a new identity. Jessica, now living under a new name, opens a memoir draft titled "The Hitman Who Texted the Wrong Number." In the final scene, her phone buzzes. Unknown number. The message: "Did you miss me?" If this story left you breathless, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. On True Crime Hub, we expose the unexpected twists of real crimes where one wrong step rewrites everything. Stay alert, stay safe, and always check your messages twice.